game of the third round in the 2006 Reach for the Top BC Championships. I'm Tamara Stanners. We're cutting our remaining 6 teams down to the final 3. Out of those 3, the team with the highest accumulated score will get an automatic bye, advance to the final round, and earn a guaranteed spot to the Nationals. In order to obtain that bye, our winning teams will have to beat last game's winners, St. George's combined total score of 1,750 points. If 1,750 isn't reached, our 2 winning teams with the lower scores will face each other in the bronze medal round. So as you can see, every point counts. Today we have an exciting matchup. Perennial team Burnaby North facing the qualifying round champions, Windemere.
This is the furthest Windemere has ever gone in the tournament. We hope to continue our success against Burnaby North by advancing to the final 3.
We're feeling really good, but Windemere is a very, very good team. So we've been prepping all week, and we think we're ready for a great match.
And a great match it's going to be. We start with snappers. What were the little people called in the film? Yes, Amanda.
The borrowers?
No, in The Wizard of Oz. Yes, George.
Munchkins?
Right. If a dish is served flambé, yes, Ricky.
Flaming.
That's right. Which color is considered to be the royal color? James.
Purple.
Right. Originally, 6 NHL teams were located in Toronto, Montreal, New York, Boston, Chicago, and what? Ricky.
Detroit.
Detroit was the other city. And we're done our first round of snappers. We take a look at the scores. Burnaby North has 10 and Windemere has 30. My big problem today is trying to keep up with you guys, and I'm going to try and do that, but we do want to meet the teams, and we start with Windemere, team captain.
Hi, I'm George, and this is Ricky, Natasha, and Mo.
Good luck, you guys. Congratulations making it this far. I know it's going to be a fun game, and now we go to Burnaby North.
My name is Alim. To my left is James. To his left is Crystal. And next to Crystal is Amanda.
Good luck to you two, and I know you 2 teams are very good, so I'm looking forward to this game, as are our judges, Barbara Harrison and Jim Menny. Okay, we're ready to go, and we start with open questions the way we were. If I were noticing the following fashion items, in what decade of the 1900s would I be living? Crinolines, white bucks, saddle shoes, and poodle skirts. Yes, Ricky?
1950s.
Correct. If I was at a dance doing the swing, the shim sham, yes, James?
The 20s.
No. The rumba, the egg beater, and the boogie woogie. What decade of the 1900s would I be living? George?
The 30s.
No, it was the 40s. If I was at a dance doing the Big Apple, the Lindy Hop, the cakewalk, yes, Ricky?
The 30s.
That's correct. If I were surrounded by the following fashion items, in what decade of the 1900s would I be living? Banana jeans, cheesecloth, toe socks, clogs, halter tops, corduroy. George?
60s.
No. Hot pants and platform shoes. James?
The 70s.
That is right, it's the 70s. The open questions are about Star Wars now. Darth Sidious was one of the leaders of the evil empire. What was the name of his apprentice who was killed in Star Wars 1? Yes, James?
Obi-Wan Kenobi.
No. Ricky?
Anakin Skywalker.
No, Darth Maul. Name one of Luke Skywalker's parents. James?
Anakin Skywalker.
Correct. Darth Vader. Now, Jango Fett was a bounty hunter killed by Obi-Wan Kenobi. What was the name of Jango Fett's son? Yes, Natasha?
Boba Fett?
Correct. What Jedi Knight was the Jedi instructor of Obi-Wan Kenobi? Amanda? No. Ricky?
Yoda.
No, Qui-Gon Jinn is the answer to that. We've got a team question now. Whoever gets the first scramble question then gets the rest of the questions in this team question, so for 10 points. Orthographically, what do the words knowledge, psychology, and yes, Ricky?
Philosophy.
No, and mnemonics all have in common?
Silent letter.
Yeah.
James?
Do you have a silent letter?
That's right. They all begin with silent letters, and we go now to Burnaby North for the rest of these questions. They all deal with silence. Who directed the 1991 thriller The Silence of the Lambs?
Polanski?
No, Jonathan Demme. The 11th of November is marked by 1 minute of silence at 11 in the morning. What event does this commemorate?
The Armistice?
Correct. Worship meetings of the Religious Society of Friends are held in silence. By what name is this group more commonly known?
Conclave?
No, it's the Quakers. We're back to open questions now. One of these things is not like the other. Which of the following 4 items is not a type of land animal? A vole, wombat, myna, yak. Ricky.
Myna.
Right, type of bird. Which of the following 4 items is not a type of bird? Starling, toucan, wren, Amanda?
The last one?
No.
You're not going to accept that?
No, because you didn't finish reading the question.
Okay. Wallaby. Natasha?
Wallaby?
Wallaby is correct. Which of the following 4 items is not a human body part? Esophagus, ileum, fibula, intaglio. Yes, Ricky.
Intaglio.
That's right, it's a type of printing process or carving. Which of the following 4 items is not a type of medical condition or illness? Incarnadine, encephalitis, eczema, impetigo. Yes, Alim.
Incarnadine?
That's right. It's flesh-colored or blood red. Classical music now, and you must listen to this music clip, and then I'm going to ask you some questions. This work was composed just before what terrible international conflict? George.
World War I.
That's correct. This is a selection from an orchestral suite. What is the title? Yes, Amanda.
The planets?
That's right. The selection describes what specific? Alim?
Mars.
Correct. Who is the celebrated? Alim.
Holst.
Holst it is. He composed the planets. Open words beginning with X questions. What musical instruments name? Yes, Amanda?
The xylophone?
That's correct. What noun refers to plants that are adapted to? Yes, Ricky.
Xerophytes.
Right. In dry conditions, what is deep dislike of foreigners called? Alim.
Xenophobia.
Correct. In chemistry, what is a volatile liquid? Yes, Crystal.
Xenon?
Pardon me?
Xenon?
No. Liquid hydrocarbon resembling benzene that is obtained by distilling wood, coal tar, or petroleum. It's xylene. 40 points now for open questions on foreign phrases. Given the general, not literal meaning of the following phrases, or give the general, not literal meaning of the following phrases. Al fresco. Yes, Natasha.
Outside?
Yes. Hoi polloi. Yes, Ricky.
Common people.
Correct. Al dente. Ricky.
Not too soft.
Right. Flagrante Crystal.
In bad taste?
No, sorry. Delicto. Ricky.
Below one's dignity.
No, it's caught in the act. On to some snappers now. What crime have you committed if you have imitated someone else's signature? Yes, Ricky.
Fraud.
No, signature. James.
Forgery.
Right. What is the composition of ballets or stage dances called? Ricky.
Choreography.
Right. In which building was Abraham Lincoln on the day? Ricky.
Ford's Theater.
Correct. That's when he was shot. In the famous American folk song, how long is the Camptown racetrack? Yes, Alim.
2 miles long?
No. Ricky.
4 miles.
It's 5 miles. It's time to do a recap. Looking at the scores, Burnaby North, 120 points to Windemere's 160. I knew it was going to be a fast game, and we're moving right along with some assigned questions. E, celebrities. Now, each member of each team is assigned a 10-point question. If you miss your question, then your counterpart on the opposing team will have a chance at it for 10 points, and all the answers begin with the letter E. George and Windemere, we start with you. These tough brothers went up against the Clantons in the gunfight at the OK Corral.
Evanston Brothers.
No. Alim?
The Everly?
No, the Earps. Ricky. This Ford automobile that was a big flop in the 1950s was named after Henry Ford's son.
Pinto.
No. James?
The Edward.
No, the Edsel. Natasha. His Old Possum's Book of Practical Cats inspired the hit musical, Cats.
Ashlar?
No. Crystal.
I don't know.
T.S. Eliot. Their big hits included Wake Up Little Susie and Bye Bye Love. Mo?
Echo.
No. Amanda?
The electric.
The Everly Brothers. And now we go to Burnaby North and Alim. He revolutionized photography in the 1880s with his flexible roll film and Kodak's box camera.
Edison.
No. George?
Ellington.
No. Eastman. His first major invention was a stock ticker patented in 1869. James?
Edison.
Correct. He won the Best Director Oscar for the 1992 Western Unforgiven. Crystal. Natasha?
Eastwood.
Correct. Amanda, this basketball great was nicknamed Dr. J.
Ellsworth.
No. Mo?
Edwin.
No, it was Julius Irving. Okay, we're on to open questions about curling. Which Canadian province has won the most? Yes, Natasha.
Newfoundland.
No, most Brier curling championships. James.
BC.
No, Manitoba. Name one of two provinces which have yet to win a Brier championship. Yes, Ricky.
PI.
Yes, that's right, and New Brunswick. Only two teams have ever won the Brier 4 times. Name the skip of one. Ricky?
Furby.
Correct. Beginning in 2005, what well-known Canadian franchise became the major sponsor? Alim?
Tim Hortons?
That's correct. Open questions about science. What does an ichthyologist... Ricky.
Fish.
Right. What is the name for the fossilized resin of a tree? Ricky.
Amber.
Right. What animal is referred to by the adjective leporine? Yes, Alim.
Lemur.
No. Ricky.
Cougar.
No, jackrabbit or hare. What type of organism does the North American Mycological Association? Ricky.
Fungi.
Fungi it is. Who am I? Question worth 40 points on the first clue, 10 points less with each succeeding clue. I was born in 1780 in Norfolk, England, the daughter of a Quaker family. Ricky.
Fry.
Pardon me?
Fry.
That's right, it is Elizabeth Fry for 40 points. Good job, Ricky. Open questions about math. Expand 2x minus 3. Yes, Mo.
2x cubed minus 3x squared plus 10x minus 15.
That is correct. Good job, Mo. What type of plane curve is formed by the intersection of a cone with a plane parallel to its side? Yes, Mo.
Hyperbola.
No, sorry. Alim.
Parabola?
That's right. What name is given to a solid having two or more non-parallel parabolic cross sections? Alim.
A cone?
No. George.
Hyperbola.
No, a paraboloid. Okay, check over my shoulder again and solve for this. X factorial divided by brackets x minus 2 brackets factorial equals 20. Mo.
X equals 5 or negative 4.
5 it is. Okay, the open questions. Ports are the subject. Give the province in which each of these ports is found. Port Hope. Yes, George.
Ontario.
Right. Port au Choix. George.
Quebec.
No. James.
Nova Scotia.
No. Newfoundland. Port Alberni. Ricky.
BC.
Right. Port Hawkesbury. George.
Newfoundland, Labrador.
No. James?
Nova Scotia.
That is correct. On to a 20-point special question. Who coined the term the bard to refer? Yes, George.
Samuel Johnson.
No, to refer to Shakespeare. Crystal?
Ben Johnson?
No, it was Robert Burns. The open questions are about space now. It's the launch site for NASA's. Yes, Ricky.
Cape Canaveral.
Correct. Name the first magnitude star which is closest to the sun. Ricky.
Alpha Centauri.
Correct. When a comet comes near the sun, it has 3 main... Ricky.
Coma.
That's right. One is the tail, one is the nucleus, and the coma is the other, or the coma is the other one. What is the word for the path of the sun's yearly journey among the stars? Mo.
Elliptic.
Say it again.
Elliptic.
No.
No. Alim?
Ellipse?
No, it's the ecliptic. We're on to a team question now. Whoever gets the first part of the scramble question.
I think he actually is correct.
You are going
Yes,
to
I'm
give the
going
point
accept
to
that.
Mo?
Yes.
Okay, so Mo gets the point for Windemere. All right, a team question now. And the scramble question is the first part. If you get that, then you get the rest of the question. So for 10 points, what European country may be figuratively described as a boot thrust? Yes, Alim.
Italy.
Italy it is. Now we go to Burnaby North for the rest of these questions, and they all deal with Italy. What mid-16th century event in Italy's Trentino Alto region is that area's chief claim to fame, and was a major event in church history?
The Renaissance.
It was the Council of Trent. Which city, whose main river was called the Font of Genius in the 18th century, is the capital of Tuscany?
Florence?
Right. Which Italian island whose capital is Cagliari considers Giuseppe Garibaldi an honorary son?
Sicily?
No, it's Sardinia. We're back to open questions. Canadian government is the subject. In what 20th century decade were social insurance number introduced? Yes, Ricky.
1960s.
Correct. In what province was Medicare first introduced? Alim.
Saskatchewan?
Correct. Who is the highest ranking diplomatic representative sent by a Commonwealth Yes, Ricky.
Ambassador.
That's right, a Commonwealth country to a non-Commonwealth country. What is the title of the highest ranking civil servant in the federal government? George.
Prime Minister?
No. James.
Deputy Minister.
No, it's the clerk of the Privy Council. Open questions. Take me to your leader. What popular music group sang Leader of the Pack? Ricky.
Duran Duran.
No. Alim?
Guess who?
No, it's the Shangri-Las. By what title of respect was Mussolini known to his Italian? Yes, Alim.
I don't know.
Yes, Ricky.
El Duce.
Yes. Joseph Jugashvili changed his name as he moved into leadership role. By what name is he better known? George?
Berlusconi?
No. James?
Hitler.
No, it was Stalin. We are on to a BC round. Let's check out these scores. 190 points now for Burnaby North, 380 points for Windemere. These questions are all about British Columbia, and we're starting with questions about BC musicians. Name the BC band that started out as a folk group, but reinvented itself as a rock band, releasing The Last of the Ghetto Astronauts in Yes, Ricky.
Blue Rodeo.
No, in 1995. This became one of the best-selling independent releases in Canada. The leader has since gone on to a successful solo career and released In a Coma in 2005. Yes, Crystal?
Chaos?
No, it's Matthew Goodband. Okay, we're going to go to some special guests, Mike and Fiona, to ask you this next question.
Name the BC bass singer who founded Lilith Fair.
It featured very talented female musicians way back in time in the 1990s. It was a good decade.
Yeah.
Ricky?
Sarah McLachlan.
It is Sarah McLachlan. Which successful rock band with roots in the punk rock movement debuted in 1980 at Vancouver's birthplace of punk rock, the Smiling Buddha Cabaret? Amanda?
Swollen Members?
No. George?
Tea Party?
No, 5440. Name the Burnaby-born singer who won new... Yes, Alim.
Michael Bublé?
That's correct. Okay, we are on to a team question about Supernatural BC. Whoever gets the first part gets the rest of the questions, and we're going to start with a visual clue. Our provincial coat of arms carries the Latin motto, Splendor Sine Occasu. Yes, Ricky?
Splendor without diminishment.
That's correct. Okay, we are on now to the team question, which goes to Windemere. Tagged as the 8th wonder of the world by its owner in the 1930s, name one of the longest pedestrian suspension bridges in the world located in North Vancouver.
Capilano.
Correct. What world-renowned gardens are found on Vancouver Island?
Bouchard Gardens.
Yes. British Columbia is home to Canada's highest Cascade waterfalls at 440 meters. They're nearly 10 times as high as Niagara Falls. What is their name?
Della Falls.
Della Falls it is. And we continue now with some open questions. What is the name of a large cyclonic storm with a moderately intense low pressure? Yes, Ricky.
Hurricane.
Yes. What do we call an area where the rate of evaporation exceeds the rate of precipitation? Yes, Ricky.
A desert.
That's also correct. Name the 19th century composer of the Nutcracker Ballet. Yes, James.
Tchaikovsky.
Correct. Tchaikovsky wrote how many piano concertos? Mo.
5.
No. Amanda.
1.
No. 3. What orchestral fantasy did Tchaikovsky compose during an extended winter vacation in Rome? Yes, James.
Swan Lake.
No. Ricky.
Rite Spring.
No, Capriccio Italien. Although Tchaikovsky did most of his sketching of the piece in Rome, he completed and orchestrated it on his return to his home country. Which country? Yes, Ricky.
Russia.
Russia was his home. Back to a what am I question worth 40 points on the first clue, 10 points less with each succeeding clue. In Greek mythology, I am an offspring of Echidna and Typhon. However, other versions claim me to be born of Styx and the Titan Pallas. What am I? Yes, Amanda.
The Hydra?
The Hydra it is for 40 points for Burnaby North. Open questions about authors. Who had his first book Sketches by Boz. Yes, George.
Dickens.
That's correct. Published in 1836. Who won the 1953 Pulitzer Prize for The Spirit of St. George?
Lindbergh.
Correct. The Spirit of St. Louis. Who wrote about Montreal's English and French society? Yes, George.
Whistler.
No. In the novel Two Solitudes. No. It's Hugh MacLennan. Which novelist wrote plays characterized by whimsy and fantasy such as The Admiral Crichton and Peter Pan? Yes, Ricky.
Barry.
Correct. Okay, the open questions are about Halifax. Halifax was originally established in 1749 as a means of countering the threat from what French base? Yes, Alim.
Quebec City?
No. Ricky?
Louisbourg.
Correct. What did the Micmac call the natural harbor on which Halifax was built? George?
Saginaw Bay.
No. It's Chibukto. Who was the first governor of... Yes, Ricky.
Cornwallis.
That's right. Before Halifax became the capital of Nova Scotia, where had the capital been previously located? Ricky?
Dartmouth.
No. Amanda?
St. John.
No, Annapolis Royal. Open questions, treason the subject. Who is executed for treason in the historic movie Man for All Seasons? Yes, Ricky.
Moore.
Correct. What was the derogatory nickname of the British radio announcer William Joyce, who made... Yes, Ricky.
Lord Haha.
That's right. He made propaganda broadcasts for the Germans during World War II. What Norwegian Nazi's name has become synonymous? Yes, Ricky.
Quisling.
Correct. William Laud was an Anglican priest executed for treason during the reign of which British monarch? Yes, Ricky.
Charles I.
Correct. Okay, a team question now. Whoever gets the first part gets the rest of the questions for 10 points. Two of the most famous expatriates in Paris in the 1920s were Ernest Hemingway and... Yes, George.
Fitzgerald.
That's right, F. Scott Fitzgerald. And now we go to Windemere for the rest of these questions, all dealing with Fitzgerald. What is the name of his masterpiece novel about a man named James trying to live the American dream on Long Island?
Great Gatsby.
Correct. His great-grand-uncle was also a writer who composed what famous American song?
Star Spangled Banner.
Yes. What does the F stand for in F. Scott Fitzgerald?
Francis.
Francis, it is. And we go to some snappers now, but we'll do a quick recap. 250 points for Burnaby North. Windemere, 590 points. Which scientific term is used to describe the process of a caterpillar changing into a moth? Yes, Amanda.
Metamorphosis.
Right. What unit of work is equivalent to a horse racing 30... Yes, Ricky.
Horsepower.
That's right. What word beginning with the letter A would I use to describe clear and distinct speech? Yes, Natasha.
Articulate.
Correct. Name the only tree-dwelling American marsupial. Yes, Ricky.
Wombat.
No. Amanda.
The opossum.
Yes. Which detective author wrote romantic fiction? Yes, George.
Christie.
Correct. In which Dickens novel would I meet the Artful Dodger? Yes, Ricky.
A Tale of Two Cities.
No. Yes, James.
Oliver Twist.
Right. Name the island immediately south of Corsica. Yes, Mo.
Sardinia.
Yes. If you receive a Rhodes Scholarship at which university? Crystal?
Oxford.
Right. Which European capital was originally called Vindobona in Roman times? Yes, Ricky.
Copenhagen.
No. James.
Vienna.
Right. Which country contains the cities of Eilat, Haifa, and Netanya? Yes, George.
Israel.
Right. How many dozen tiles are there in a mahjong set? Ricky.
64.
No. Alim?
6.
No. 12. What 21-year-old daughter of actress Maureen O'Sullivan married 50-year-old Frank Sinatra in July 1966? George?
Nancy.
No. That was his daughter. Want to try? Mia Farrow. What was the name of the policy of the former Soviet Union in the 1980s? Yes, George.
Glasnost.
That's right. It means openness. What Canadian island, little more than a sandspit, is 200 miles? Yes, George.
Oak Island.
No. East of Halifax. James?
Sabla.
Repeat it.
Sable.
Sable Island. Born in Scotland as John Buchan, he wrote this. Yes, Ricky.
39 Steps.
That's correct. No, I'm sorry, that's not correct. He wrote the spy novel, The 39 Steps, and died in 1940, holding what government position? Yes, James.
Governor General.
That's right. Name the Premier of Alberta who preceded Alim.
Aberhart.
No, Don Getty. George.
Lougheed.
Lougheed it is. And that is all the time we have for this game. We're looking at the scores. Burnaby North, 320 points. Good job. But with Windemere, we have a record score of 660 points for these reach for the top playoffs in 2006. Congratulations, Windemere. Your combined team total is now 1,720 points. That's good, just not enough to beat St. George's 1,750 points. So you're not going to get the bye. Instead, you get to go into the bronze medal round to determine whether or not you go on to the final game or whether you're getting the bronze medal. We do have one more matchup, though, to determine who will be in the finals, and that's Gladstone versus McRoberts. It's very exciting. That was an excellent game, both teams. Burnaby North, you come back next year? Come on, make a promise. And thank you. We'll be seeing you, Windemere, as we continue the BC Championships of Reach for the Top for 2006. The BC Champion School will receive a media-on-demand video library, courtesy of Distribution Access. For all the tournament details and scores, be sure to log on to the BC Reach for the Top tournament website.